Well, we knew we was going into a hostile environment. We knew we was playing a good team. Coach Ross and his staff, they do a tremendous job. Got that program going in the right direction. So we knew we had our hands full. Just wanted a chance. We were blessed opportunity to get in the playoffs. Tried to make the most of it. Went down there. We gave it our best shot. We jumped on them early. Went up 14-3. Just couldn't put them away. Every possession counts. And I'm talking with Coach Cunningham and Coach Grider. We were talking about, just how you play in the playoffs in the environment, the atmosphere of the game, and how it really comes down to just a couple of plays. And hey, we turned the ball over a total of 4 times, 3 in the second half, and those turnovers, all of those led to points. So my defense, did a great job as they have been doing so all year, and we just didn't do enough offensively, and came back to haunt us. Well, I told them, I was very proud of them. Those guys, they never quit. Even when things looked bad for us, they kept fighting. They never complained, and for that, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Got a great fan base, teachers, and administration that's really behind this program. So, I told them, hey, the most important thing now is, hey, the game of football for us is done this season, but the game of life is not. Got to make sure that, all these seniors graduate and become, productive citizens of society. Well, first of all, I want to thank Mr. Abrams, Bobby Earl Abrams. That's our principal, as he calls himself, our fearless leader. He's been behind me 100%. Everything that I ask for, he makes sure that I get, or he goes out of his way to try to make sure that I get it. To our teachers, our academic advisor, Ms. Lola Bolden, Tammy Timmons, and all the teachers, and Ms. Martin, Mr. Howard, who's over the band. These people play, a large role in our program, and my coaches. They work long hours, and the coaches' wives and the families, who have to sacrifice time away from their loved one while he's, working with our boys. So for them, to those individuals, and just the fans, I just want to say thank you.
Well, we kind of did the same things we do every week. We had a little more intensity in practice, I think, for that week. That Thursday was a pretty quick turnaround coming off, playing Prattville. That was an emotional game. But I felt like we prepared ourselves well enough, to go into the game on Thursday and compete with Daphne and do the things we need to do to win the playoff game. Unfortunately, we did some of the no-nos in football. Turn the ball over, right there before the end of the half. We was, score with 9-6. We turned the ball over, knowing that, we get the ball back. And that's just situational ball. That's just understanding situational ball and understanding, like as Coach Carter said, and Coach Grider, that every play counts in the playoff. If you take one play off, then that play could cost you the game. You never know where it's going to come. And I felt like right there we had moved the ball to the 33-yard line, and I felt like we were in a position to kick a field goal there, and unfortunately we threw an interception, and they returned it for a touchdown, and that kind of just changed the whole reflection of the game, and how we handled the game in the second half. And I think some of them are young players that kind of dropped their head right there because they felt like they was their fault, and it was really nobody's fault. When you prepare for ball, things just happen to happen, and either you come back from them or you end up going down. And I felt like that interception just kind of took us the wrong way as a staff and as players also. And it's my job to make sure that we go in at halftime and change that mentality. Get rid of what happened. That end of that second half, and I don't think I did a good job of just going in and making sure we adjust mentally, not just game plan, but just adjust mentally to come back out and play the right kind of ball in the second half. Well, a lot of what I talked about after the game is just, maintaining your character as a man. Bad things gonna happen in life, and it's not necessarily bad, because when you play a game of football, it ain't no bad in that. You're learning something either way, win or lose. So we just kind of talked about, just keeping your character as a man, understanding that this comes with the territory. You got to prepare yourself to get ready for class tomorrow and get ready for life in general. And, don't take step backwards. I think a lot of people that was around, I had, kind of our school minister was there and on the sideline, and We had talked about character, doing, pregame meal and maintaining who you are as a young man. That's the most important thing. Football is very important, but just maintaining your character, building a relationship with your family and the players that are around you are more important than that. Because as a man, you're going to have to learn how to take care of your family. And there are going to be days now where you ain't going to want to go to work and you ain't going to want to do certain things, and you're going to have to get up and do those things. And that's kind of why I wanted our mindset to go after, losing a game like that. And you got to give Daphne credit. We turned it over twice. They turned it into points twice. That's what good teams do. You turn it over, sudden change. You dealing with the emotion of turning the ball over, and they're dealing with the emotion of getting the ball back. And they did what they needed to do as a team to win the game. And I give shouts out to Coach King. It's his first year coaching also, so that was a tough thing for him to be mentally focused and keep his players mentally focused, and they did a good job of it. We're in closing this year. First of all, we want to thank Dean, who's our athletic director, and kind of some of the things he did for us this year, just bringing you all in to be involved. That was another big thing. I don't think anything's ever been done like what you fellas are doing, as far as modern day TV, to get our coaches on the front page and let other people see, what goes on inside, MPS football. And I think we did a good job with that this year, and modern day TV did a good job with, giving us coaches some exposure, and if we ever move up to the next level, we have understanding of what it is we have to do, what it takes to be, a coach on that level, just by these things that we're doing. And I just want to say thank you to all the coaches for helping me out my first year. And I leaned on Coach Carl a lot. I called him, about different things. I called Billy about different things. I asked Coach Griner about different things, and they helped me out. They didn't turn me the wrong way. They led me in the right direction. Most of the things they told me were good things. So I like, just to modern day TV, to MPS athletics, to Coach, to Dean, to all the coaches at MPS. I just like to give a shout out and see now what we have to do is we got to get behind Park Crossing. They're the only team left in the city. So what all of us got to do as fans and as coaches and as school, we got to put all that beside us, what we did, and we got to get behind Park Crossing. And if we can bring a championship to Montgomery, let's do that. Because all that's going to do is up our play, if we can bring a championship here. So I think all the fans of Montgomery and all the city of Montgomery need to get behind Park Crossing and let's, push them as far as we can, and realize that all of your coaches did a good job this year.
It's been, obviously for us, it's been a great year, but I think all the 5 schools in Montgomery have represented the city well. Everybody's doing a great job. One of the things that people always talk about is what's happened at Prattville, and one of the things that's happened at Prattville is we've done a great job in this city of keeping our players in Montgomery. And that's a testament to the job that everybody at all the schools are doing. And it's I'm proud to represent Montgomery, but I think that all of the teams have done a great job this year. Well, defensively, we knew we were going to have to stop 22. The big running back was their focal point, and then in doing that, we had to make sure that we didn't fall asleep in the secondary and give up a big play in the passing game. They had the kid, the quarterback that's committed to Stanford. We knew if we got him into a must-throw situation that we could get pressure on him and disrupt him, and that was the game plan defensively. And then on the offensive side, we weren't exactly sure what they were going to give us, so we worked on a lot of different things. And the game plan was to establish our run by spreading them out, and we forced them to spread out a little bit because Malik did a great job of getting the ball out in some blitz situations and scrambling and finding receivers, and it forced them to have to spread out and defend our passing game. And then Miles had a great night running the football after that. Well, we've got on both sides of the ball, we've got 5 or 6 guys that are 3-year starters for us now, and they've been there since the school opened. Most of them, they went through that JV season, and then our first 2 years together, and then the playoff loss last year. So we've got a lot of experience. I was really impressed with the way they handled the win, actually. It wasn't a big celebration like we'd won some kind of championship. It was, hey, let's move on to the next game. And, we're pushing that theme that we had in our pregame talk about getting one more week together. That's our goal. We just want to play another week. And it's really refreshing to see when kids buy into what you're trying to get them to buy into. And I think this group has done a good job of that. We had a great day yesterday at practice. If we can continue that trend, there's no telling how good this team can be. But I think their eyes are firmly on Bessemer. They're not looking past anything. We're not treating it like a revenge game because they put us out last year. It's more of, hey, we're going to worry about us and the tasks that we have, and go and do what we do. And if we can do that, then we'll be successful. If we don't, we won't. And it's not going to be about Bessemer. It's going to be about Park Crossing. Well, this is a totally different kind of team. Bessemer's a lot more athletic. They're more of a spread offensive team, and they've got some tremendous athletes at receiver. They play two different quarterbacks. They're both smaller kids that can run around and make plays. Those guys do a great job of buying time and finding receivers down the field. So we've got to do a great job of trying to keep them in the pocket. And then when they do break the pocket, we've got to stay in our zones and cover the receivers in our zones and not come off of them and allow them the big play. One of the quarterbacks they play is the same kid that beat us last year in the first round of the playoffs. And so, we kind of know what to expect from him. He also is have a lot of design runs for those guys. So the key for us is to force them to be one-dimensional and force them to have to throw the ball. And then on the offensive side, they've got some really good players on defense. They've got a big defensive end, number 36, that is a returning starter for them. That's a really good player. And then their Mike linebacker, number 26, is also a really, really good player. We've got to be able to control those guys, get a hat on them, and try to establish our ground game against these guys. They do a lot of different things. So again, that's what everybody's doing these days, and we just got to be prepared. Malik needs to continue to play well. He played great last week, and we eliminate turnovers. We haven't had any the last 2 weeks, and that's why we were successful. So we got to continue that trend as well.